All right, here's a 6.5 homework, which deals with the average value of a function. This is one of the quickest sections we did as far as the lecture video. And this is also going to be one of the shortest homeworks that you've seen all term. I think the shortest homework you'll see all term. There's only 4 questions you're supposed to answer. And as you know, the last one's always extra credit. So really only 3 that you have to do. And none of them will really take you all that long. So this should be a nice, easy assignment to do, kind of getting us towards the end of the term here. The first question should be almost exactly like the example that I did in the video. You're given some function, it's 2x to the 5th power instead of x to the 3rd power, and you're asked to figure out the average value of this function on the interval from 2 to 6 instead of 1 to 3. But other than changing a couple of numbers, it should work out the exact same as the problem that I did in the video. It's worth pointing out that in the video, there was a part B to the question. You don't have to do that part B on this one. It's just part A. Just figure out the average value of the function and put it right here. Question 2 is a lot like question 1, except they give you a different function and they give you a different interval. But we can do kind of the same thing. We'll just have to figure out the antiderivative of this function instead of this function. Hint on that, think U substitution. I think this one will be really easy to figure out an antiderivative of, whereas maybe this one's a little bit more challenging, but I think you can figure it out. And if you can figure out the antiderivative, it's fairly easy to use the F average formula. Note that it says to report your answer accurate to 5 decimal places, so either keep 5 decimal places or more than 5 decimal places, or I think you can also type in an exact answer, type it in as an expression, and it'll mark that correct as well. Question 3, the last of the required ones, looks pretty similar. You're supposed to find the average value. They give you a different function, and they give you a different interval, but whatever, that's fine. We'll need to figure out the antiderivative of this. Think integration by parts. I think we've done that a few times now in this class, and that goes here. But you'll note that there's a part B here, and that part B is the exact same as the part B that I did in the video, where you'll have to find a value of C so that f of C, which would be the natural log of C, is equal to f average. And you'll have to solve for C, so maybe you'll have to do e to both sides of the equation, and that will give you your value of C, which again, you're asked to report to at least 5 decimal places of accuracy. And then question 4, the extra credit one, definitely not something you'd need to be able to do for this class. It's just the only thing that I could find that would be a little bit harder. What you're supposed to do is find these constants A and B so that the average value of this function is equal to negative 1/6 over this interval, and it's equal to negative 13/6 over this interval. So they're kind of giving you the answer and asking you for the question, what did this function have to be? And all you have to do is treat A and B like they're constants and take antiderivatives. It's a little bit harder to take antiderivatives with the letters in there instead of numbers, but I think you can do it. And maybe if you set up an equation where the average from 0 to 1 equals this number and the average from 0 to 5 equals this number, you'll have 2 equations that maybe will have 2 unknowns in there, and maybe you can solve for the values of A and B, and those will go here and here. If you can get those, great. If you can't get them, don't worry about it. It's not something I really need you to be able to do for this class. That's the homework assignment.